Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Conversations That Matter Most. I'm so happy to have you here and with my co host, Sharona. And this is going to be a topic we're going to talk about gratefulness or gratitude. And I think it's a great topic to talk about because we hear a lot of stories about being grateful, how it improves our lives, and things like this. But what about when things aren't going so great or things are sucky in your life? And how can you be grateful in those moments? And so that's what our topic is going to be about today. So my name is Claudette Chenevert, and I'm known as the stepmom coach, and I work with stepmoms in helping them move from surviving to thriving one step at a time. And if there are people who know about sucky moments, it is about stepmoms. And so Sharona, hi, how are you today?
Hi everybody. Hi Claudette. I'm grooving along, as they say. I'm grooving along.
So tell
And
us a little bit about what you do.
oh, besides trouble, uh, uh, anyway, my name is Sharona. I am known as the MidLife Women Dancing with Change transition and specialist, transition and transformation specialist, and my focus is. Supporting, helping, and taking midlife women from just surviving midlife to thriving wholeheartedly in body, mind, and spirit. And again, as a midlife woman, I'm going to tell you, there's many more times than not that life gets a little sucky. So I this is going to be an interesting conversation to have an attitude of gratitude even when it's sucky. So, so, uh, so first of all, I'm grateful that I'm on this call today.
Well, I am too, because then I'd be talking to myself, right?
Right?
You know, one of the things we want to share about why we're doing this. And so if this is the first time you've been on our episodes, welcome. We're really happy to have you and we're looking forward to have you back. If you've been here before and you've come back, welcome back. We're really happy to have you again. So part of the reasons why Sharona and I started this was there's a lot of conversations we tend to have, but they're not very deep conversations, or they're safe types of conversations. And so Sharona and I wanted to have this kind of platform where we could share our thoughts and ideas about things that matter most, not only to us, but hopefully to you as well. And so this is how we started with this platform and sharing ideas. And one of the things we love is hearing from you. So if you have any ideas or comments or would love to share your ideas or comments, just comment below on our comment box below, and we'd love to hear you. Shorna, anything you want to add before we jump into our topic?
Yeah, I just wanted to just add a little bit to that is that this is not about if you agree or disagree with us. This is just giving you, our viewers, a chance to ponder, or as I say, burbulate, and think, and maybe bring these conversations into your life, into your midlife, into your step families, into your relationships and work, and then just giving you some ideas of how to have these conversations. Because a lot of times I think, especially in our society, we don't give ourselves time to really have a conversation. It's either throwing ideas at each other or whatever, but it's not giving and receiving a conversation.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, I agree with that. Especially since a lot of our communication either via text or little bits of conversations. There's doesn't seem to have time for long, deep conversations. And it doesn't mean you have to have a lot of them, but it really helps you to understand who you are and who the other person is that you're in relationship with. Obviously, you don't have these kind of conversations with total strangers. Mind you, I've had some really amazing conversations with people I did not know, just out of the blue. And those were life-giving, life-altering moments for me, literally.
Yeah, me too. Me too. It's amazing how you can have a deep conversation in the middle of a checkout line at a grocery store. But sometimes when the line is long, you have people around you just start at, and I think I think I shared this last time about a conversation started, which I was actually very grateful for because it was funny. I asked a cashier. He was a young man. He said, I go, how are you today? And he goes, I can't complain. So I then said, if you could complain, what would you complain about? Because I hear that a lot of times when you ask someone, how are they doing? Oh, I can't complain. But if you could complain, what would you complain about? And we got into this deep discussion about politics. I never saw that cashier again. It didn't matter. I was just really happy that I had that conversation because first of all, it was from a point of view of another gender, and it was from a point of view from a person of a different generation. And it was like we found a common place with a very simple, and the conversation was really probably 3 minutes, if that.
Wow.
So those are moments that I tend to get I have gratitude around those little moments in life, even if everything is falling apart around me, is finding the connection to another human being or nature and having a conversation, sometimes even with my cat, can bring everything into perspective just for that moment.
Yeah. And the reason why we're doing this is to spark conversations with someone, or even the cashier for that matter, in helping us discover another perspective, right?
Right. And also giving ourselves voice. Sometimes we forget that we have opinions and our perspective. And, even here, we might not agree with each other exactly on everything. So hearing your perspective and my perspective opens up a safe place for other people to come join in the conversation.
Exactly. So I love this. So today we're going to talk about gratitude, and not from the perspective of, I'm grateful that I have a nice home, I'm grateful I have a car, I'm grateful I have a job, but from the perspective of that, when things are not going well, how can we still stay grateful? And when we had this preparing for this episode, the first thing that came to mind was, and I may be shocking people, is being grateful for cancer in my life. Not myself personally, but for my husband. And that period in our lives when my husband didn't have cancer, I have to say there was a moment of gratefulness in how it transformed our lives and made us live a different kind of lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
And I know a lot of people that, and especially when we were going through cancer treatments and chemo and radiation, people would go around and say cancer sucks. And yes, it's true, it sucks big time because it's painful, it hurts, it could rob you of precious life moments. But why I say for me that we were grateful for the cancer in our lives was that for us it gave us an opportunity to actually live according to what our beliefs were, which was to be together, to support one another, to look for positives in the moments that were not going to be so great. We transformed our lives in walking the talk that we've been talking about for years and years.
Yeah, and I understand that too, and in the moment, because I was dealing with my issues, not with cancer, but my issues, and I'm still am. And what I had to do in the last 4 years is, and you know what, I'm going to be honest. When I've been dealing with these issues all my life, and it's a challenge. It's some days it's like, why am I getting out of bed? And I do have those moments where I get so angry and so frustrated that I have to deal with this again. But now in the last 4 years, what I've done is I think I shared before is I got down to single tasking. And I'm getting down to living, truly living one day at a time. What can I do today? So for me, where the gratitude comes from is, and I used to do this thing. Well, I'm grateful that I got out of bed and I dressed myself and I, did that kind. But now gratitude is more of, you know what? I'm taking care of this moment. I'm taking care of this day. I'm taking care of me and those around me the best I can. Putting in the effort is good enough. And that's what I'm learning is it's enough. That for me, gratitude is being happy with enough. And it's again, it's simple, but it isn't easy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think one of the things is, and I think this goes into something again, that there is this perception that if I'm grateful, I'm going to be happy. No, it's acknowledging what is going on, and I'm going, okay, I handled that. Let me go to the next thing. Thank you. That's enough.
I'd like to add to what you just said. I think not only acknowledging, but accepting at least part of it, right? What I see, what I saw a lot when we were going through my husband's cancer treatments, it was accepting that it's something that's happening.
Yes.
He is not the cancer, and a lot of people that were there, and I thinking of one particular woman, she had a hard time accepting that she had cancer. She was in her late 30s. She had a rare cancer that actually disfigured her face, because the kind of cancer my husband had was head and neck. So we saw a lot of disfigurement, like people without parts of their faces and things like this. And so that was really hard. And so, you think, well, yeah, but this person is worse, is worse. Why? What we looked at and how we approach this. And this isn't just about cancer. This is about any kind of problem I think you can face. Is if you can look at what is happening to you at this moment that can make you feel like, I'm glad that this person is in my life. I'm glad I have this doctor. I'm glad that I have this person supporting me. I'm glad that I'm able to eat, even though it's through a feeding tube. At least I still can eat. I'm glad I have meds that can, temper this, make it not so bad. So that, each day, because in this case is a lot of what we're going through is a matter of attitude, how we deal with life, right? So our life can be seemingly good or seemingly bad. And what prompted me to think about this was last night we watched a movie. It's called Poyaketsi and from George Lucas. And what he was showing in there is people in India, in China, living in the extreme poverty you couldn't imagine. Yet those people were still smiling.
Mm-hmm.
You're thinking, how can these people be smiling? They have nothing except for dirt and a tin for a roof and stuff like this, but they were still smiling. And so there's a sense of being grateful for the moment, as you said, for today, for this very moment of being able to appreciate, accept, and acknowledge what is going on for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's that moment of just saying, this is what it is. It's almost like life on life's terms. One of the things I've been working with is, you know what? I have no control over life, period. I am powerless over life. Life has its own agenda, its own terms. And that goes with sickness and illness and financial and relationships and all that stuff. And, you know, um, doesn't mean I have to be, again, gratitude doesn't mean I have to be happy about it, but I'm just grateful that, okay, so how am I going to deal with it? How am I going to accept it? What actions can I do to take care of it at this moment? Do I need to go punch a pillow? I can do that. I don't have,
Yeah.
so I think that part of it also, and I just, this just popping in the head, is about forgiving. It's the same thing. It's like, just because I can forgiving somebody, for doing a wrong to me or a perceived wrong to me, does not mean that I need to have them in my life again. you know,
No, exactly.
right? The same thing, gratitude. It, it's something that it's not about finding total happiness, but it's just appreciating, accepting, and dealing with what is in the moment. I think that's, for me, how I describe gratitude. And it's not that place of, oh, joy, joy, happy, happy. Um, I think in Spanish it's SOCKS. It is what it is. It is what it is. Like your husband's cancer. It is what it is. I have a relative now who's going through cancer. She lost organs and parts of organs, and she's in recovery. And, um, I don't think she's gotten to the point yet that she's she's grateful for it, but she's dealing with it day to day.
Yeah.
And um, one of the things I realize is, a lot of times, and again, this is, we need a team. A lot of times, especially for, I'm sure with stepmoms, but I know with midlife women, is that we seem to have to take all of this on for ourselves. And we need to remember that we need a team of people to support us as we're going through what, even when especially when times are sucky, is to get support around us, so maybe the gratitude is not the cancer or the illness or the suckiness, but it's the being grateful that I got a team of recovery around me, that
Yeah.
I'm not doing life alone.
Well, and you bring a good point, right? When bad things happen in our lives, this is when we can start to see how strong we really are, because we are strong. I believe we are stronger than we think we are, especially in times of difficulty, of hardship. I've seen, like, stepmoms, for example, in my own personal life, I've had moments where in my step family, as a stepmom, we nearly didn't make it. I actually moved out of our home for a few months because of a situation that happened that was out of our well, it wasn't out of control. So I became out of control. Therefore, it made the situation to the point where it was best if I wasn't there. So at that time, of course, I wasn't grateful. It was the end of the world. I thought nothing was going to be going great. But that moment was a turning point.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a part of me that is grateful for the experience and the learning that I got from it. So I think in order to really make it clear, it's not the event that I was grateful for, but the experience and what I learned from it that helped me to transform from who I was to who I am.
Mm-hmm.
And so I will forever be, grateful for what I learned at that time.
Yes, yes, I agree. Yeah, you're right. It's about what I can learn from it. And I think one of the things too is I wanted to oh, a thought just left my mind. Did you see that? The thought just
Let, let's go get it. Come on, come on.
I'm going to let it go. I'm going to let it go. If it comes back at 3 a.m., I'll add it into the comments section. Midlife, brain, just gone. Okay, I guess it wasn't that important to say. I'm gonna have okay. So I don't know what. Let me see. So let me go back to something that you said before. No, I can't find my way back. I can't.
Let's go. Let me go back. So I was talking about being grateful for an event that happened in my life that I wasn't necessarily grateful that the event happened, but I was grateful for the learning and what it brought me into changing or transforming who I was then to who I am now.
Mm-hmm.
Those are moments I think that, we can look at sucky events and how it brings us together, because you were talking about, having people bring us together. Well, I have had sucky moments where I learned that I do have friends. I do have people who care about me. I am stronger than I thought I was. And that's what I got from those sucky moments. And
Okay.
that is why I'm grateful.
Okay, great. See, now I got back. Okay. So I think one of the things too is for me as traveling on my life's journey and in midlife, I realize that when I go through moments where it just is just unbearable, I find I find out who's got my back. And a lot of times it's not the people I think it is. It's sometimes it's people I've just met or that got my back and helping me through it. And that to me reminds me that I am not whatever that is, whatever the diseases or the illness or the I am not that. That's just part of who I am. It's like my dyslexia. I'm dyslexic. I writing and reading takes a lot of energy for me. So that's why I like my little emails and stuff like that. It's things I've been living with all my life. I am not my dyslexia. I can do more than that.
Mm-hmm.
But I have people who in my corner who understand if they give me reams of paper, I ain't reading it. Or if I do read it, it's going to take me 3 months. Get it down to the baseline, people. Get it down. So and it's okay, but I had to first of all acknowledge that and then share it, which is vulnerable. So it's the same thing. It's taught me to have more compassion for those others who also have learning disabilities, who have same thing with my illnesses. It's I have compassion and understanding for those who went through it. Same thing with, even though I personally didn't go through cancer, I understand that. So I think that's one of the things is when we go through these sucky moments, when things are, we then not only learn from it and gain knowledge about ourselves and others around us, but it also gives us empathy for others.
Mm-hmm.
For others.
It helps us to grow as a human being.
Yes.
I love what you said about compassion, about empathy. We need more of those. And if it takes sucky moments in our lives to help us understand, because one of the things I heard a lot as a kid was that I was pig-headed. So I would turn it around and say, no, I'm determined. So, but sometimes, those resistant moments, help you to, that there's a saying that is, lessons will be repeated until they're learned, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes, yes, my determination prevented me from learning fast. So I had to have these repeated moments. But once I learned them, once I acknowledged them, I became grateful for those learning moments.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's more compassion and empathy towards other people. And, I think that a lot of people, I know a lot of people who say, but we should just embrace the happy parts about our lives. There's no such thing. You cannot be happy without experiencing sadness. You cannot experience joy without experiencing anger. You cannot have daytime without having nighttime. You need to have the contrast in order to experience the difference between both of them. Yes, sometimes the sucky part may be longer than you wish, and you'd say, hey, can I have a break here? Like, can I have a break? I've had enough,
Right.
And I think that's when life starts to change and move in a different direction.
Yeah, and I think one of those things is we forget that life is yin and yang. We need both. We need the dark and the light, the yes and the no, the up and the down, the in and the out. And for me, and when I work with midlife women, is finding the center of that. So that way we're not, because I tend to go into extremes. I go either way out here and having a hell of a good time, or way down here and getting really depressed. And for me, it's finding the center where I can have my feet in both worlds, and then find my balance. And it's just, I was talking to a midlife woman, and she, after so many years of marriage, they're getting a divorce. It's not a pretty thing. It's sucky. She's got to deal with lawyers. She's got to, it's not what's the word, amicable.
Amicable.
Yeah, it's not that. It's the opposite of that. So, but what she's finding is she's finding her team again. Who's going to help her lawyer? She's got friends. And of course, when you go, I'm guess, she's going through this. Her self-esteem is going down. She's thinking, what's wrong with me? And so working with her, we're finding out what are her, strengths. What does she have in her corner? And just because this marriage didn't work out doesn't mean she won't find, if she wants to, find other love and love in other places, and we talked about love
Yes.
before. But again, in the moment it feels sucky, but you can have a breath, and it's going on for long. So okay, right now I can take a breath. I don't have to deal with this. Let me do something that's going to make me feel good without, hitting the bottle or whatever, eating tons of ice cream. But, some way of treating ourselves. I think one of the things we need to remember, yes, compassion for others, but compassion and empathy for ourselves.
Yeah.
We need to give ourselves those moments where, yes, I want a break. How can I take a recess from this that's going to be supportive of me instead of detrimental to me? So those are some things that we can, to look at in your life in those moments. Like if it's really sucky, what can I do to, maybe have someone take you to the movies and go see something fun? You know,
Yeah.
go find some funny thing. You know, cat videos are very good for those moments when things are really sucky. Or what was it that I was watching? This woman doing yoga and her baby goat was on her back. I go, okay, that's just ridiculous, but I need that in that moment. Thank you. Thank you, YouTube.
But again, I want to go back to what you were sharing about your client that is going through divorce. You know, step families are created because of a breakup of a previous relationship, you know, or one of the spouses has passed away, and
Right.
so it has left a void. So step families come together because of a breakup or of a death in the family. So it's coming together from a place of loss, a place of being hardship.
Yes.
But, you know, because they came together, they're finding a new purpose, a new love, a new life. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't mean there's no problems.
Right.
All relationship, no matter how wonderful they are, had issues. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, and that is the normal course of being with another person. A conflict is a perceived disagreement in a point of view or of a thought, and so unless you are thinking always the same thing, you're going to have some conflict. And so within that conflict, you know, there are places that you can learn from. I know I've had some really heavy duty conflict, especially in the beginning of my relationship. What it's taught me is how to have a good argument without bringing down the other person, yet still having a voice and being able to express myself rather than letting me be you know, weighed down by other people and not and be a doormat, if you wish.
Mm-hmm.
So no matter, you can always find something that will bring you a valuable lesson.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and I know a lot of stepmoms are thinking, well, I hate this ex, or I can't stand the ex, or my stepkids don't like me, or they don't even want me around their lives. Look at those moments and try to find what is a lesson for you inside those moments, and look at it as a thank you for providing me with that lesson so that I can learn from it and do something. I think, and you mentioned it a few times, Sharona, where, you know, it's not just a matter of acknowledging the the event or the circumstance, but now doing something. Take action in doing something different. I think that is really key. So whatever's going on for you, take a moment to take it in and to process what is going on for you, and then decide on one action, not a 10, just one action, and let it not be a pint of ice cream, and if it is, well, just for one day, okay. But find something or someone who's going to help you in moving forward from whatever suckiness is happening in your life.
Yeah, and you know, I want to just add to that. There's whatever the sucky moment is, make sure your life is not in danger.
Of course, of course. Yes.
I just want to put, because if your life is truly, 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 truly in danger, get the help to get the hell out of Dodge.
Yes.
But I do think I agree. We have a tendency, again, when things are sucky, we're trying to find the answer so quickly that we don't take that moment to step back and go, okay, this is what it is. What can I do to support me in this moment? Can I learn something? Can I let it go? Do I need to ask for help? Can I delegate? What is it? What's the one action I can take? And these little tiny baby steps, these little steps that we can take, you know, these helps us to move forward and to learn and to grow, and also helps us again to find out more about ourselves. It helps us to understand who we are as human beings on this planet.
Yeah.
So I think, I'm thinking we're coming to the close, and so today we wrapped up around, what gratitude is, finding the gratitude in the moment. And again, I think I want to go back to what you said, Claudette, about that it may not be the event itself, but what we learn, finding what we can gain from this, how we can use it to help others. Sometimes we can go through something, and again, we find the compassion and empathy, and then we can support others who might be going through this. So, and the other thing is, and again, it's not about being happy all the time. It's finding that acceptance and appreciation and allowing for the moment to unfold and saying, okay, now what? What's my next action step for this? Okay. Anything else you want to add before we end?
I think you wrapped it up really well. And again, as you mentioned, if you're in a life or death situation, this is not about learning to be grateful. Get the hell out of there. For sure. This is get the hell out of there.
Get out of there.
Yes. And so, yes. So thank you. So if you're in a situation where you would love to talk more about learning more about being grateful, about, turning your life around. If you're a stepmom and you're looking to have a better relationship, whether it's with your spouse or with your stepkids, or maybe just putting to rest the conflict between you and the ex, if there is conflict, I'd love to talk with you. Let's have a conversation about ways that we can really help make a difference in your life, so that you can turn around and live and thrive in your life rather than just survive, and taking the steps that you need to move forward. So if you're interested in having a deeper conversation, you can email me at Claudette@stepmomcoach.com. You can find me on Facebook, on Twitter, on Google+, on LinkedIn, Pinterest, and Instagram. So just go to my website, which is stepmomcoach.com, and you'll find all that information there. Sharona, where can people find you? Where can midlife women find you to have their support from you?
Oh, thank you. Well, today you can find me. I don't know where you'll find me tomorrow, but today you can find me at dancingwithchange2thrive.com. And you can email me at Sharona@dancingwithchange2thrive, and that's the number 2thrive.com. You can also find me on Google+, Facebook, LinkedIn, Midlife Women Dancing with Change. And again, if you're in midlife and you feel like you're just surviving, and it's just, you want to have, again, a deeper conversation, or you just want more support around midlife transformation and transition, be it in your relationship, or maybe a new career, or maybe you got to relocate, let me, or the children have left and you're going, now what? Give me, email me, contact me, and again, we can go deeper. We can have a conversation that what matters most to you, and see how we can find a thrival action plan, so that way you can move forward in your life. And I want to thank you, Claudette, for another wonderful episode of Conversations That Matter Most. I am so happy that we are doing this. And again, for those viewers, if you have any ideas or comments, please put them in our comment section below, and subscribe and join and share.
I was just going to say that. So, yes, obviously, we love hearing about you, hearing your comments, and share. If you feel that this is something worth sharing, please do. And we'd love to hear more about what you think about our episodes. And of course, subscribe to our channel. So, this is it for today. Have a great day. Have a great week. And come back to watch us on our future episode of Conversations That Matter Most. Thank you. Bye, Sharona.
Bye, Claudette. Bye, everybody. Thanks for watching.
Bye.